Well, good morning. I think we all are. You could squeeze yourself. I do believe that we all are in our forms, right? We're in our forms. So that's a blessing. And someone once said this. I just want to read this to you. He said, the best line that I've ever heard in my life, this person goes on to say, that sometimes when you're in a dark place, you think you've been buried, but actually, you've been planted. Yeah, in a dark place, you think you've been buried, but really you've been planted. There's just no way that we can not be a part of the way. The way that Lao Tzu would say that's the golden path, as the Buddha would say, the middle way, the steps of Raja Yoga is another way of saying it, but we can't get out of the way, my dears. I know there's another way to look at it. That's we're in our own way, so let's get out of the way of the way. But we can't, even if we try, even if we are, notorious bandits or something, we still can't get out of the way of the way. So that's why what it thrills me about these meditations is that we keep the ball rolling. We keep the momentum that we have. I saw a woman at the health club yesterday that I'd given the link to our meditation. She's not necessarily a meditator or anything like that. I just see her a lot, and she's a really nice person. And she came up to me yesterday and she said, I surprised you. I came on a few meditations. I said, well, you should have said something. She said, no, I just remained quiet, so I didn't know she was there. And then she said this. She said, I was so blown away by those others that were online with you, like the Martys, like the Taras, like the Lynn, the Lisa, and Jim Clark and Cammy's. I guess that she stayed to the end, and it was one of those times where some of you said some things, but she said those people were glowing. Those people were glowing. And I said, well, what about me? She said, oh, yeah, it was good. But she was most impressed with you, my dears. And I want that to really sink in this morning because it takes all of us to keep this ball rolling. I just read a quote from a master that said that if you start something, even if you are failing, continue with it. Continue with it. Don't give up. So it's not that we're going to stop doing the meditation. I'm just saying that it's no small thing to keep the ball rolling. It takes a crowd. What did someone else say? Spirituality is a personal relationship with divine, and religion is crowd control. Yeah, I don't know if you got that, but spirituality is a personal relationship with the divine, and religion is crowd control. So I'm just I'm just so pleased that we have this ability to be regular in our meditations. And yes, planning on at this point things can change, but to drive my two dogs, my two doodles to Ashland, Oregon from Atlanta. It's only 29 hours. It's only 2,000 something miles. That's all. I'm going, what? What? Yeah. So I know one thing. I'm going to be playing a lot of these tapes. I'm going to be playing a lot of these meditations. I'm telling you, I love them. I love them. I was waiting to go see a doctor yesterday, and I just listened to one. I was outside underneath the tree. It was hotter than heck, but it was the shadow of the tree made it cooler, and I just got so high on it when I walked in there and I met the lady who signed me up and then waited in the waiting room for the doctor to get there and all that. But everybody that showed up and and took some uh, did had their little tasks to do before the doctor comes in. They just were smiling. They were just so happy, and I realized that's because I was that way. Everyone lit up in there. Just amazing what the joy can do for us, my friends. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Tara, Sarah, Marty, Lynn, Lisa, and Jim Clark, Cami, and Ashley. You know exactly what we're talking about here. And I just take my hat off to all of you. But this morning, This morning I have so many little ditties, like little quotes from Yogananda and such. As if nothing else, what I do is I over prepare for these meditations. I just collect everything that's just inspiring me as much as I can before the meditation, and so it gears me up, and it just shows me that whether I'm doing this for all of you or for all of us or for the world, whatever are my reasons, I just know it's a really good thing to load yourself up first thing in the morning. Load it up. Load up with as much good energy as possible, right? Because the world's going to come out and try to steal it from you. In fact, we have one of our quotes today, if we get to it, that reclaim your power, pull it back in. Pull it back in if you've given some away, and then continue to give some away in relationships that aren't really all that great, or other situations. You know what I'm talking about. And we got to pull that energy back in and get really single-hearted, single-focused on what is really the top priority for us today. And that is that Yogananda said, and let me go to my iPhone, and you can get ready to close your eyes and start your meditation if you haven't already, because you have carte blanche. Close your eyes, do whatever you want to do here. Yeah, however you want to go about it, my dears. I'm just as Hafiz said, I'm just a hole in a flute through which the breath of Christ moves through. That's all. I'm just a hole in the flute. Whatever comes out, comes out. So, but listen, this is what Yogananda ji says. He's just so amazing, that Guruji. Yeah. Well, this isn't the one I thought of, but I think I'll start with it anyway. So feel what is opening up for you right now. Feel, it's not of this world. And your thoughts, as Ramana says, are all sorrowful. Every thought we have, until you have those thoughts about the divine, then they're not so sorrowful anymore. In fact, they're good guides and teachers called wisdom. But if we're not about the wisdom, then we're in sorrow with every one of our thoughts, because it takes us away from our true self. A thought can take us away like that from our true selves. So just hunker into your true self, and I'll read you this thought from him. He said, the Heavenly Father doesn't want you, his children, to suffer anymore. He doesn't. God doesn't want us to suffer anymore on this planet. The sensory delusion in which you live must be overcome. So we have a mission possible, my dears, and that is to overcome the sensory deluge or delusion in which we live. It must be overcome. Yogananda says, you should conceive of God. This is the line that I wanted to share with you in the quote. This is the right quote. He said, you should conceive of God as the highest necessity of life. The highest of the highest necessity of life. And he said we should separate our needs from our wants, right? So this is a necessity. This is a high need. We should conceive of God as the highest necessity of life. Then Yogananda goes on to say, break the shackles of limitation, of dark habits, and mechanical daily routine. Mechanical daily routine. Break those habits. Break those habits. And that's what we're doing here every time we come on, my dears. We're breaking down the old structure, making room for the way. Then he says, I condemn no man or woman, only man and woman's unbelief and oblivion of God. He can be known by using the technique of meditation. Then and this includes us, my dears, big time. Then he shall throb as wisdom in your mind, as joy in your heart, wisdom in your mind. Come down a little bit to your heart center and rejoice and feel the joy that's in your heart. And you will be more active and more successful than you have ever been before. And in another place, as you absorb and absorb and absorb, this is what Yogananda says: you must not let your life play out in an ordinary way. You must not let your life play out in an ordinary way. He said, do something that no one else has done. Do something that no one else has done. And we can take this meditation. You have been so many weeks now, maybe months, coming regularly online for your reasons. And that's all that's needed is your reasons with God why you're doing this and coming to this meditation. But it's rare. It's rare. So you are, in some ways, doing something that no one else has done. And show the world that God's creative principle works through you. So you can show the world that God's creative principle works through you, my dears. And you have some other beautiful, beautiful gifts. You know, there's only one reason you have those beautiful gifts that shine from your soul self, so that you give them away, so that you give them to others. So there's so many sterling things that make you extraordinary. You're not ordinary at all, my dears. You're extraordinary. You do little things with great love. You come and hold a space for your brothers and sisters in this little meditation group in a way that is just unconditional. It's unconditional. So you are in tune 100%. You are in tune. So let the divine play a melody on your heartstrings, since you're so in tune. Every one of those heartstrings of yours has been tuned up by you. And every time you go from just an ordinary thought to a more of a spiritual thought, to more of a divine truth, every time you do that, you have shifted. You have shifted the load of karma that we all carry, and the load of whatever today's to-do list is for you. And you've shifted it as you sit here now, honoring the blessings pouring in to make this moment, just this moment, pristine. Pristine for you, my dears. Know how much God loves you and cares about you and is behind every footstep and heartbeat and breath of you. Is there 100% your divine love support. And I would like to remind you of your value. Your value. That can mean many things to you right now, in many ways. But perhaps we can say truthfully that your greatest value is your peace, is your peace, is those moments, or maybe it's a periods of time that you are enjoying that true self of yours as the peace of your soul, as a peace that surpasseth all understanding. This could be, it just could be our greatest value. I wanted to bring this up because the most powerful people on this planet are the most peaceful people. The most powerful people on this planet are the peaceful people because these are people who have mastered the art of discipline. And they have learned themselves. They know themselves. They have learned it through probably the school of hard knocks. Can you start to feel that value then? Your moments of peace, your moments of even just wishing for peace or praying for peace could reawaken that memory, that divine memory that you are peace. And these same people who have learned themselves, I think that's a unique way of saying, I know myself. I have learned myself. They understand that people will come to test them. They understand that. They're ready, willing, and able to deal with that. And there will be people that come to say rude things about them and maybe some people in their lives. They're ready for that. And of course, they know that there will be people who come to challenge them. But here's the key. The most important thing, though, is how they respond, how you and I respond to those challenges. Like that will come up today, even. And they may just be internal challenges too, where you have some fear around something, or you don't know if it's going to turn out all right. Yesterday, we said there's no way that it cannot turn out because God's behind every choice you make, good, bad, or ugly. He's behind it and standing right with you as you go through the next steps, whatever it is that you chose. He's right with you. And so, someone who has mastered herself, himself, and have learned themselves, they're ready. They're ready for all these changes. And they've come to a conclusion about it. This is how they think. If I give you my time, if I give you my time to these people that come and try to create a storm around you, if I give you my time, then I give you my peace. If I sit here and argue with you, I give you my peace. And my peace is so valuable to me. My peace is so valuable to me. Is it valuable to you, my dears? More valuable than anything else? Your peace. It's so valuable to me, these people say, that we would never, ever give it away. We'd rather keep it for ourselves. Meaning, as Yogananda said, it's okay to be sacred selfish. Sacred selfishness. Peace first. Love first. Being with presence first. As you have quietly and sweetly perhaps awakened the sleeping memory of your peace. A little more, and if we weren't focusing on it, because you are what is called a safeguarder. A safeguarder. You safeguard. You're your own guard. You keep your peace safe. It's too valuable. It's too valuable to give away to those who don't understand. Hold it in. Let the vibes come out of you. You don't have to say anything. Your inner peace, my dears, is a sanctuary that should never, your inner peace is a sanctuary that should never, ever be compromised. Can you feel the value now of even just a moment of peace, quiet, stillness? So, no matter what storms rage around you, make it a priority to safeguard your inner calm. Your inner calm. It is only natural that we encounter differing opinions and face challenges, but that doesn't mean that our inner peace has to be shaken. Safeguard your inner peace as the most valuable state of consciousness you can have. Peace comes first before love. But if you want more peace, then love more, and vice versa. And it's in these challenging moments, my dears, when the storm is raging around you, that the strength of your inner peace truly shines, truly shines. And I want to give you just a quick little practical tip. A quick little practical tip. And this came from a person who did a podcast. It's actually a lawyer. And he speaks often about emotional regulation and grounded communication. He was being interviewed, and he suggested, and this is the tip, and I think it's really, really practically powerful. May your first word be a breath. May your first word across the board, before you actually say the words out loud, be a breath. And here's the power now of why that's so powerful. In that moment, that instead of saying a word, you do a deep, beautiful, quiet breath. In that moment, you feel the wisdom of the years. In that moment, you feel the wisdom of the years of practice, reflection, and self inquiry come together in one clear, simple, and practical sentence. This quote offers the simplest reminder for the wisdom I have spent years cultivating. Let a breath be your first response. It's that pause thing again, right? The stimulus, and then there's a response that comes. But then that gap is the breath. Gives you a chance to reboot and recall all the value that you are, all the value, all the practices, all the meditation come together in that moment to just give you a pause. And call it the divine pause, where it all comes together. And then what happens? You're sufficiently out of the way, and the way takes over. All right. So we thank you, oh Spirit. We thank you, Tara and Sarah, Cami. I don't know if Lori's on today, Lisa and Jim Clark. I know Ashley came on to get her value. A reminder for her today. Lynn, she gets on early. She's the last one to go. She stocks up. She stocks up. Yeah, she's one wise woman. I'll tell you, Lynn. Yeah, yeah. She and so is Sarah, and so is Tara, and so is Lisa and Jim. Yeah. So I said earlier that I might be doing this drive with my doodles and such. I do have someone that's my will be with me. I'm not doing it by myself, but but I'm gonna find a way somehow to keep this meditation going, whatever it is. If I'm if she's driving or whoever's my partner going to drive, then I can do something to get us together. We'll work it out one way or the other. All right. So I'm not promising anything. We got to play it by ear, but I am promising you that we're going to keep the ball rolling. Yeah, keep the ball rolling. We
No
got to put up an old
expectations.
one of these videos, right? Of something you forgot that we did a little while back. Put it up. Let's keep the ball rolling, my dears. This is why God's invisible, intangible, because we're learning to find the reality in the invisible, intangible, the omnipresent, all that God is. This gives us a chance, you know, when we don't have the physical connection. This is a physical connection that we have here. But anyway, I just put that out there because there will be a way that we all can keep our smiles on our faces and the flood of love pouring in. How's that? Yeah. I guess there was some earthquake in Russia. Now there's a tsunami in Hawaii, Alaska, and somewhere else that they say they're on tsunami watch, and they get those sirens going. We get sirens here in Peachtree City, Georgia, too, when there's a tornado coming through. But anyway, let's just be at peace today. Y'all good for peace today? Huh? Do you want to see the peace signs? No. I love that. I love that. All right. How about we love? How about we care? Yeah. And how about we share? You're so magnificent. You all, you're just so magnificent. Yeah. Love and peace. Love and peace. Yeah. Love and peace. Thank you so much. Kisses if you want to blow. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate. I receive. I share. All right. Thank you. All right. Have a peaceful day. Hmm? Nobody. You've heard the saying, let nobody get your goat, right? You've heard that. Let no, that's the goat is the goat of your peace. Safeguard. It's safeguarded now. It's safe with you. Yeah. All right. Love ya. See you soon. Namaste. Love you all.